Lines are one of the most important aspects of art. For artists, they're one of the formal properties of art. The things that an artist has to work with to make paintings. Lines can have many attributes. They can be thin, thick, they can have color, they can be smooth, they can be jagged, they can have shape, they can be dark or light, they can be rigid or fluid. Lines can define shape. A line can be sharp or soft. Lines can be used to describe the shapes of things. Lines can be very loose. They can have a sketchy quality and suggest lightness and airiness. Lines are similar to marks and brushstrokes, but a little different. Lines can be used as outlines to create emphasis. Or they can be used expressionistically to convey feelings and emotions. Lines can express speed and movement. Lines can express space. Lines can even express concepts. So lines are one of the most important aspects of making art and of viewing art. Delving further into the concept of line, we can say that for representational painters, that is to say, for realistic painters, there is no such thing as a line. A line is an abstract idea, an abstract thing that is used to represent the edges of forms. In reality, there are essentially no lines around anything. At the edges of things, it's just tones ending. It's just edges. Yet be that as it is, artists use line to denote the edges of forms in the early stages of paintings and then fill in the tones later. Yet artists for millennia have used line not only to describe form, but to be decorative and expressive. One of the important ways that artists have used line to make their art better is the orchestration of line. An orchestration, in essence, means to vary the lines, to change the line's size, shapes, edges, length, thickness. In short, any ways that you can change the lines to create interest. This can happen intuitively or consciously. You can use line to create rhythm. That is, to change the spacing that the line creates in the painting so that it's more interesting, evocative, or in some way affects the feel of the painting to make it better. In this Chinese painting, we see the darkness of the lines and the angles of the lines create variation. In this painting by André Derain, we can see the brushstrokes becoming lines and creating rhythm by their energetic interaction with each other and the space of the dress. In this work by the artist Toulouse-Lautrec, we can see how the variation of the line's color makes it more interesting and perhaps more exciting. In this painting, also by Toulouse-Lautrec, we can see how the line creates counterpoint to the mass, giving the painting variation. In this Toulouse-Lautrec drawing/painting, we can see how the variation in value, color, and thickness add dimension and expression to the work. In this sketch by Pablo Picasso, we can see how his variation in line thickness adds interest to the painting. In this painting, also by Picasso, we can see his variation in line clearly. We can also see how he's used a light, sketchy line on the woman and a stronger, more grounded line on the man. This was probably, in Picasso's mind, a symbolic expression of the classic definition of men and women. In this painting by Matisse, we can see how the counterpoint of line versus mass brings strength and dynamics to the painting. In this gorgeous painting by Matisse, we can see a strong variation in line thickness and how that can create drama and interest in the painting. In this painting by Larry Rivers, we can see how Rivers uses thick and thin line to punctuate the painting. Notice how the lines also have variation in value and color. This painting is by the pop artist Roy Lichtenstein. Notice the sense of dynamics and drama created by the change in the line's thickness and value. The contrast between the white lines and the black lines is striking. In this painting by the Impressionist Bert Morisot, we can see how the fine, thin lines create a sense of delicacy in the painting. This adds a sense of poeticness and lyricism to the painting. Fernand Léger is famous for the way his lines create boldness and strength. Notice how the fine lines in this Juan Miró painting create a sense of delicacy, playfulness, and refinement. Many people accuse Cy Twombly of being too childlike, too easy. They say, my child could do that. Yet if we look at his paintings closely, we can see a very sophisticated use of line. The changes of line thickness, value, angle, intensity, and rhythm are clearly earmarks of a sophisticated artist who understands the use of line in good art. Notice the use of line in these paintings by Kenny Scharf. So clearly, line is one of the most important elements an artist has at their disposal to make good art. Of course, not all artists choose to use line, but for those that do, it's important to have a well-founded understanding of the many ways that line can function in a painting. Line can bring to life a painting that is lackadaisical and without that magic spark that ignites the imagination and allows the painting to be the best that it can be. Whether it's used to create delicacy, or boldness, or fluidity, or refinement, or contrast, or many of the things that a line can do, line is an important tool at the artist's disposal.